Yo, Lord Roll aka Mega Blitz. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a very explosive Pokemon deck featuring Heatran with that absolutely insane Steel Burst attack. Now, I had made a different video kind of about a different deck that was very similar to how this one functions, being that Sandaconda deck with that big sand cannon attack. But today, we're going to be looking at Heatran. So let's jump right in to that deck list. Alrighty, here we are at that deck list. Starting us off here with the star of our show being Heatran. Of course, it does have an ability that says if this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if it's knocked out, the attacking Pokemon is now burned. So even if it doesn't get KO'd or anything, it'll still end up affecting your opponent's active Pokemon with that burn status condition. So it can be very helpful in different scenarios as well. But that is for attack here, for the main reason that we're playing it, for 3 energy, 1 metal, and 2 colorless energy. Steel Burst 50 times. Discard all metal energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 50 damage for each card you discarded in this way. So of course, we're pairing that with Metang with its ability Metal Maker. Once during your turn, you look at the top 4 cards of your deck and attach any number of basic metal energy you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like. Shuffle the other cards and put them on the bottom of your deck. So playing the exact same just kind of energy accelerator that we have seen in Dialga and things like that. Of course, pair that with 23 copies. I don't know if you can see that quite down here. The graphic kind of got a little funny, but 23 metal energies. And of course, you're like, okay, well, what happens if all the energy is discard pile? Well, we do play 1 copy of Super Rod, and I do also play this Hisuian Basculegion with that free attack being Upstream's Spirits. 20 times. This attack does 20 damage for each basic energy you discard pile, and then shuffle those cards back into your deck. So being a single prize deck, our opponent's going to have to take at least 6 KOs to be able to win the game. And with this Hisuian Basculegion, not only are we going to be able to take very huge knockouts with that Upstream Spirits attack, but we're going to be able to cycle all of our energies back into the deck to be able to hit them with that Metal Maker ability to put them back on to our Heatran. So for the full deck list here, I got 4 Beldum, 4 Metang, 3 Hisuian Basculin, 2 Hisuian Basculegion, 3 Heatran, 1 Radiant Greninja for that draw support, 3 Adaman because we're playing so many metal energies to be able to find some extra cards by discarding some, 2 Irida, 1 Miriam, 1 Arezu, 1 Boss, 3 Buddy-Buddy Poffin, 3 Pokégear, 2 Nest Ball, 1 Switch, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, 1 Hyper Aroma, 1 Super Ball, and the incredibly high amount of 23 metal energies. Now, let's jump right in to that gameplay. Alrighty, here we are at that gameplay. At our coin flip here, we did pick Tails, because of course we do, and we are going to like to go second here. And the reason I choose to go second is because if I can find my way into a Buddy-Buddy Poffin and maybe Hyper Aroma after that, I'll be able to evolve quite a bit of my Pokemon, being the Hisuian Basculins and the Beldums as well. Our opening hand are not super great. Has 3 Hisuian Basculins in the opening hand, Radiant Greninja, Irida, Pokégear, and a metal energy. Now, I had thought about playing Technical Machine Evolution in this deck. However, it would be a little bit difficult to only have a couple Iridas in the deck. We'd have to try to maybe slot in some Arvins and stuff. Or, sorry, Irida wouldn't even actually find it. We'd have to play Arvin to find that Pokemon tool. So it's not as great here. We're going to bench the Hisuian Basculin, bench that Radiant Greninja, play the Irida here, grab Hisuian Basculegion and Buddy-Buddy Poffin here. Buddy-Buddy Poffin, gonna grab 2 Beldums. We are gonna have Pokégear here, so we're gonna grab that Adaman here. And I can't play Adaman, of course, because I already played a supporter for turn, but we are going to risk it here. Conceal cards, discarding an energy card, drawing 2 energy cards. So, definitely did not get punished for that. And then we're gonna gather the crew for that Heatran. However, yes, I originally was gonna try to fit Arvin in here to be able to maybe find that Buddy-Buddy Poffin until Machine Evolution, but I ended up needing to slot in Iridas to find the Hisuian Basculin and Hisuian Basculegion. So ultimately, we're just going to go with the Hyper Aroma play and kind of just run with that. Our opponent here going to be able to press his research, getting a nice fresh 7 cards in our hand. Techno Radar here, discard a card to find 2 future cards here. Gonna have 3 Iron Crowns potentially on the bench here, because we did see them grab 2 Iron Crowns. So gonna have 3 Iron Crown EXs on the bench. Miraidon in that Iron Valiant EX. Nest Ball for the Iron Thorns EX. So we're definitely playing against future box here. Gonna retreat for free out of that Iron Crown. Peak Acceleration for KO. Gonna be able to power up one of their benched Pokemon here with 2 basic energies. Gonna put 2 psychic energies on that Iron Valiant EX here, putting me in a position where I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? So I could put up the Heatran, potentially take a KO on the Miraidon, but that doesn't just feel as good to be able to do that. So we're going to try to KO with Hisuian Basculegion here. So we are going to conceal cards, discarding draw 2. I should have Adaman first, I feel like, but I wanted to see what I would get off of that concealed card. So I'm going to grab Hyper Aroma here. We're going to be able to find 2 cards off this Adaman. So we're going to grab Hyper Aroma and Nest Ball. Nest Ball here, going to be able to grab a second Heatran. Hyper Aroma going to be able to grab 3 Metangs out of my deck. So I'm going to evolve 2 of my Beldums into Metangs. So we're going to be able to start using that Metal Maker ability here. And I did attach energy for turn to one of my bench Heatran. We're going to Metal Maker here, attaching 1 of the Metal Energy to my Heatran. And we're just at a point where it doesn't feel super great, because now I am going to have to attach 1 of the Metal Energies from the Hisuian Basculegion to be able to retreat out of that into the Heatran, discarding 3 to take a KO. But we are at a 5-5 split here, so maybe not as bad as I would think. I was really trying to KO with Hisuian Basculegion, so I wouldn't leave my Heatran just kind of stranded up there. We do only have 3 in the deck and only 1 Super Rod, so you do have to conserve your Heatrans a little bit early game and try to kind of finish the game potentially with either 1 last Heatran or a really big attack from the Hisuian Basculegion with that Upstream Spirits. So our opponent here going to throw up the Iron Thorns EX, potentially to try to shut off any abilities, I would think. So they are going to shut off the Radiant Greninja ability, of course. Or no, sorry, I think it's just Pokemon V and EX. I'm not too sure. Still kind of learning all these cards. But they are going to be able to use that Tachyon Bits ability to put 20 damage on one of my Heatran. Going to be able to boss up 1 of my Metangs to take a huge KO for 280 damage on that Metang here. So we are in a position where I only have 1 Metal Maker left now. So we are going to attach an energy for turn to the Heatran here. And I am only going to have to hit a couple energies off of this Metal Maker here. So we're going to hit 1 energy off that Metal Maker. But I believe Iron Valiant EX is weak to metal. So we're in a pretty decent position here. We are going to Miriam, putting the Beldum and Metang back into the deck to draw 3. Nest Ball here, going to grab myself a Beldum, and we're going to have the Metang in hand for later. But we are going to be able to hit for 2 times weakness on that Iron Valiant EX. So we're going to take 2 prizes off of that. So now we're at a 3-4 split here, putting ourselves in a pretty solid position. Got another Metal Maker coming on the way next turn. We already have 1 Metang. Our Hisuian Basculegion is getting powered up as this game progresses because we're discarding so many energies from that Heatran. And Heatran is taking huge knockouts on very key Pokemon through this game. So our opponent here going to mention another Iron Crown EX. Going to be able to attach an energy to that Miraidon. Switch card here. Going to be able to play an Iono as well, putting us to only 3 cards in hand. We're going to get Adaman and 2 Metal Energies. Now, I could do a lot with that hand, actually. So they are going to Peak Acceleration for 120 for exactly 140, but they are going to get affected by that burn from Heatran's ability. So that's definitely going to trigger here. And then, of course, they're going to put 2 energies on that Iron Thorns, 1 Electric and 1 Psychic, putting us at a 3-3 split. So now I'm in a position where I'm like, okay, what do I want to put up? I have 12 energies in the discard pile. I could try to potentially put myself in a position where Hisuian Basculegion take a huge KO on a 2-prizer later on, or I could just put myself in a position, depending on which one I put up. If I put up Hisuian Basculegion, I can take a KO with that guaranteed. If I put up Heatran, I need to hit energies off of Metal Makers to be able to do that. So I put up Hisuian Basculegion as that kind of confirmed option, if it were. So we're going to be able to add him in here, discarding both Metal Energies to be able to find 2 cards out of our decks. We're going to grab, of course, Metang here, and then as well as a couple of different options. I could grab Nest Ball and kind of thin the deck a little bit, which probably would have been a better option, but I just grabbed the Heatran just kind of outright. We are going to Metal Maker here, grabbing another Metal Energy, attaching it to the other Heatran. Now, off that Adaman, I could have also grabbed the Metal Energy to conceal cards and just draw a couple more cards, but I opted just kind of for the guaranteed route, if it were. So we're going to Upstream Spirits for a huge knockout on that Miraidon, putting us at a 2-3 split. So now, if they KO this Hisuian Basculegion, not too big of a deal. We have 2 Metal Makers set up. We have 2 Heatrans. Even if they KO the Heatran with 2 Metal Energies on it, I have that backup Heatran, and I only really need to get to 5 energies on that Heatran, which is very possible with that Metal Maker, and we just upstream Spirit, so we just put all that energy back into the deck, so there's all kinds of Metal Energy in our deck right now. So our opponent here are going to be able to get an energy to that Iron Thorns Pokégear here, gonna whiff on that Pokégear, gonna be able to play Professor's Research, getting a fresh 7 here. Now, something else they might have been able to do is kind of like switch card into the Mew EX, retreat out of it, restart, draw a card, and then Professor's Research, but I guess it kind of just matters. It doesn't really matter how you do it either way. So our opponent here going to move that Psychic Energy to the Mew EX here, and we are going to put up our Heatran with 2 energies, going to draw an energy for turn as well. We are going to play Irida here, just trying to thin the deck a little bit more if we can to try to hit some energies off that Metal Maker. So we are going to play Pokégear here. We're going to grab ourselves. If we grab Arezu, we could thin the deck a little bit more, but we're going to grab Boss just in case if I whiff on these Metal Makers on the very low chance. I was just trying to see if Iron Crowns or Mew or anything were weak to Metal, but they are weak to Dark, unfortunately. So we're going to bench the Hisuian Basculin, Metal Maker, getting 3 energies off of that Metal Maker here. Metal Maker one more time. Don't really need to, but we got another 3 energies, and our opponent just wouldn't let us hit that really big number. But nonetheless, showcasing that Heatran hits for crazy high damage and can really sustain in the late game once you get that upstream Spirits attack off, putting the energies back into the deck. So GG's to our opponent there, of course, as well. Now let's jump right in to that outro. Alrighty, that's good for today's video. Absolutely insane being able to pull off such high damage attacks with that Heatran rather consistently. So I'll make sure to put the deck list that I played in today's video in the description below, so you guys want to try out this deck for yourself, you'll be able to. If you guys enjoying the content I've been making for the channel, don't forget to leave a like, smash the subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!